Buenos días con todos, agradecemos su participación. Vamos a comenzar con la conferencia. En el caso de tener preguntas, realizarlas en el chat online que se encuentra en su pantalla. A continuación, damos la cordial bienvenida a la empresa DEG KFW y a su expositor, al señor Justus Vitinius. Go ahead, Justus.
Muchas gracias, Sandra. Un cordial bienvenido a todos los participantes de este seminario o webinar hoy. Dado que bueno, la conferencia se trata de las relaciones entre Latinoamérica y Alemania y desafortunadamente no todos en Alemania ya hablan español, yo me voy a cambiar al inglés. Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. It's a big pleasure for me to host this webinar here on behalf of DEG, German Investment and Development Bank. DEG is the German development bank, which was founded 55 years ago in order to promote private investment in emerging markets and developing countries. Nowadays, we are based in Germany, in Cologne, but we are active in more than 100 countries in the world. And nowadays, we have a portfolio of nearly 9 billion euro in all 4 continents, in Latin America, in Asia, in Africa, and in Eastern Europe. We have a strong focus on Latin America with offices in Mexico City, Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Lima, Peru, and also representative offices in Bogota, in Colombia, and in Panama. We have a portfolio in Latin America of about 2 billion euros, where we have a strong focus on financing of financial sector, but also a lot of agriculture, industrial production, and infrastructure. The products we offer are, on the one hand, long-term senior loans, where we finance investments, but also working capital. And on the other hand, we also provide all sorts of equity, pure equity, but also mezzanine type of structures. The idea of this seminar is to present, well, our activities by showing to you, our audience, 2 of our main customers. On the one hand, Dr. Reinhold Feske, owner and former CEO of Haver & Böcker, which is one of the leading machine equipment producers in Germany. He's also president of the German Latin America Industrial Initiative. And on the other hand, Jorge Leal, owner and CEO of Ingenio Magdalena, the leading sugar producer in Guatemala. Dr. Feske, I would like to ask you for a brief introduction of your company and also the activities you've had with DEG by now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Vitinius. Infortunadamente yo no hablo español, solo un poco portugués, mas nos voltamos então para inglês. I'm Reinhold Feske, and we have at home a family-owned and managed company, Haver & Böcker. The company got founded in 1887 as a wire weaving company. So still today we do wire weaving. Not in South America, but in the United States, in North America, in India, in China, and in Germany, and in Europe. And since 1926, we do have a machine manufacturing company where we do vibrating screens and packing machines for the bulk industry, for the mining industry. We are very strong. We have a plant or 2 plants in Brazil. We are active in Chile with our own company, and we have a Mexican company as well as a branch. We started working with Latin America in about 1907, 1908, more or less at the same time when the HAKC, German Chambers of Commerce, started in Argentina, for example, to do their business and to support the combination of German technology with Latin American productivity and customers. Our contacts, we are a typical mid-sized company. We have 3,000 employees and a sales volume of more than 500 million euros. We are active with own companies. We have 52 own small companies all over the world, and we have the willing to be close to our customers. So we are very detailed in that, and we are 85% of our activities are for export, former export. Today we produce in the United States, in Brazil, and in India, in China, in South Africa even. So we are, as I said, we try to come closer to the customers. If, like Haben Böker, for example, we want to go to export, we need company by the banks. And that has changed very dramatically in the last 40, 50 years. When I started working in Brazil in 1980, there were the big German banks financing some of our automotive companies. But the mid-sized companies and the family-owned companies normally had major problems on our side to finance our exports, and on our customers' side as well to finance the import. So that is why we had severe talks and many years we took to convince DEG as well to say we have to do something special for mid-sized companies. And we are very proud today that DEG heard what we said and openly what Mr. Vitinho said are the German desk. So these German desks are in all continents of the world, and especially in South America, we have them as well. And I was personally present when we started in Peru. And the big advantage from the customer side, may it be our customer or as a supplier, is that we can talk with our banks at home in Peru or in South America or in Germany. And the interlink is a DEG, and they help us to translate the interest from one side to the other. So we have made some very positive experience with DEG. We financed our activities in Chile when we started there, and especially we are still financing our activities and our expansion plans for Brazil. That was overall positive, and we will continue working on that after the Corona crisis is over.
Thank you very much, Dr. Feske. So this was the perception of a German entrepreneur and a long-term customer of ours. So now we would like to learn about the perception of one of our prime customers in the region. So Jorge, perhaps you can give a short presentation of yourself and your activities with DEG.
Good morning, Latin America. Good afternoon, Germany. It's a pleasure being here. My name is Jorge Leal. I'm the CEO of Ingenio Magdalena. Ingenio Magdalena is a family-owned company. We've been in business since 1983, so it's a much younger company. It's a very fast-growing family-owned business. We are in the business of producing sugar, ethanol, and electricity. On the sugar business, 70% of our business is an export business. On the ethanol, it's a much higher percentage, and our main customers are in Europe. And recently, with the COVID crisis, the local regional sales have increased. And in the electricity business, we produced about 11% of the electricity consumed in Guatemala. So our business has been a really high growth, and I can tell you that with a DEG, what we've done, or we started relationships back in 2006, and they helped us develop our social responsibility section, getting organized and having all the social responsibility set up, even if we didn't close a business till 10 years later. And from 2016 on, we've have had a banking relationship, but other than that, I can tell you that DEG has been involved with making my family a happy family. And the reason for that is that they've helped us on getting the environmental, social, and governance in place. So, and this has helped a lot with making the company stronger, more profitable, and more sustainable. And so we've had a happy business, a good business, and that has made a happy family and a stable business. We're in the process of on a generational passage. So I've been running the business since the end of 2017, and having DEG helped us with the governance of the company, setting up a board of directors with independent directors, and having them help us selecting those board members was of great help, and it has made our company truly a stronger business.
Thank you, Jorge. Now, the type of loans, first of all, let's discuss about our core business, which is providing senior loans. Dr. Feske and Jorge, what do you think is the major difference? Why would you approach, or what in some cases even, at least might prefer come to DEG instead of a local bank, where do you think is the difference?
If you want me just to, I'll go first. We have great relationships with the local banks, but the relation with DEG has been amazing. Just with the different people and the different resources that DEG brings in place has been truly different. I can tell you two experiences. The first one is the one I was telling you about, the governance. Being a family-owned company, taking the decisions into becoming a corporation and having a board of directors and independent directors was a hard decision to make, and the process DEG helped us out selecting our consultants, who advised us on how to do it best. And it has just been so much easier doing it this way. And secondly, I can tell you another experience. We're living it right now. With the head of the COVID crisis in Guatemala, our country is a third world country. The healthcare system is not as developed as what you would see in Germany. And we have been forced to take action and get on the crisis and the pandemic and treat it ourselves. DEG as a great partner has not only worried for us, for the business, but for our people. So we came to DEG and asked for help is on setting up consultants on the health side. And it's incredible how DEG has the resources and just the knowledge on who can guide you on doing something like this. So you have an idea. The country has had 30,000 cases of COVID. In my company, we've had 417 cases. The country has had 4% of death rate on detected cases. We've had 0 fatalities. We've already have 237 workers back to work. So we only have 180 people out of the 417 still sick. We've only required assistance from the public health system on 5 cases. Currently, we only have 1 person that is in the healthcare system. And this is just one example of how DEG goes out of their way just to help you out and just to make a difference on setting up something that goes beyond banking. And other than that, I don't know if you want me to talk about this, Justus, but they went even farther than this. Well, I had asked for a loan for an interest reduction to be in place for next year, knowing that we were in a crisis. And I was surprised that the DEG not only gave us the interest reduction, but went a little more than that. We got it 6 months before what we had intentionally asked for. So it's just a great relation, and DEG understands our business, understands our troubles, and just what we need. There's so many people, good people, that you can discuss all the aspects of the business. So it goes much more beyond banking. It's just the personal relation and all the knowledge and on all the aspects that DEG is able to cover.
Thank you, Jorge. Very, very nice words, very much appreciated. Dr. Feske, what could you add from your perspective? Yeah, why going to DEG instead or next to a commercial bank?
Yeah, we have, from my side, I have to admit that we have a different perspective as Mr. Leal. That is normal. He is in Latin America, he is at home, and we are the exporters. And as I said before, we are family owned and managed. And we, in the past, we always try to finance our expansion on our own. And if we wanted to expand to Brazil, for example, we were in Brazil in a situation in the 80s with an inflation of more than 4,000% per year. That was dramatic. And for a family company, that is difficult to stay there and to try to learn we learned it the hard way, the Latin America way of life and inflation fighting. But now the Brazilians have learned a lot in the past decades. But what I want to say is, when we had the commercial banks, and we had, of course, Harvey & Böker has contact with commercial banks for guarantees and whatsoever. But when we wanted to expand in Brazil, for example, the commercial bank always said the guarantees will be given by headquarters. And so that was, we had always a conflict between German currency at the time, the D-Mark, today the euro, and the local companies. And one, in an inflation situation, one of the most dangerous things is if you finance in the wrong currency, then you cannot fight it against inflation. So one of the first, and for us, most important differences between commercial banks and DEG banks, DEG, is the fact that they are able and willing to accompany you. They go with you to Brazil and find a solution for Brazilian-based guarantees. That for us was very important. Our company in Brazil is very solid financed from a Brazilian and even from a German standpoint. But the commercial banks never accepted, say, we give a guarantee from the Brazilian branch. That is one of the major aspects from our side. The second best of DEG, in my understanding, was that you have to know I'm a very normal German family owner of a family company. And these persons and people, they have the tendency to make decisions out of the stomach. If they find a country interesting, if they find a technology interesting, they are not that much the people for financing. They are the people of doing. And when we started the first time working together with DEG, what impressed me most was that DEG took us at our hand and said, okay, now let's sit down and check the risk, and we will try and check the situation the same way as if we, DEG, would be shareholders as well. And in fact, they opened up to be even shareholders if it would have been necessary. In our case, we didn't come to this point, it wasn't necessary, but the way of accompanying the customer in the preparation of the investments, that impressed me very, very much. And since then, I'm a sort of fan for DEG because they are so different from commercial banks and from business banks in the past. And a big advantage for us as Haber and Böker, we are working worldwide and our exports are going worldwide. DEG is or in all third world countries, and they go with us in every difficult country. Let's put it this way. That is not necessary for the United States, but in Latin America, where we have the inflation problems, where we have small countries, where we have many countries, or in Africa, it's the same. Then I can call on DEG and say, look, I have a problem. I have a customer who needs support. And their DEG is much more flexible than other institutes and financing institutes, especially in Africa, as an example. Of course, they demand some background of the partners in these countries, but they are not as strict as probably others are, and they accept other arguments. Of course, they want to have their money back, and they want to have the interest paid. That is obvious. But even if you come in, we had a situation in Chile where the business did not develop through to the mining industry as we like to do that. And then really DEG acted, like George said it before, as partners. And they are really business friends in the best way you can have. Much different, really different from other banks from Germany or from the United States.
Dr. Feske, I will agree.
Is it enough of positive thinking about DEG?
Dr. Feske, I'm going to agree with you, and I couldn't have put it in better words. DEG behaves as if they were partners on the business, as if they were shareholders themselves. So they understand the challenges, and they have the resources and the knowledge to guide you on finding a good solution.
Yeah, and I think that is really, George, very important, that because they have comparisons. They know they are active in these countries. They know it sometimes much better than we. For us, it's it's an expansion. Yeah, and that is, and not to be understood wrongly, they do not accept everything I wanted, or they did not accept everything I wanted to do. They corrected me and said, look, Feske, here you are wrong, or we do not take this risk with you. You have to change your mind and to change the project. But this openness and this solid all the suggestions they did, that has a big basis and good background, and that was solid. That was good. Just reliable.
Well, thank you very much. Jorge, perhaps one word, 1 minute about the corporate governance. What's the main input you got from DEG there?
Okay, on the corporate governance, Veronica saved. I don't know if I said her last name right, but we've been helped out on just pretty much taken by the hand, and what DEG did is they found the right consultant to guide us through the process of creating the first board of directors with independent members. Before we were a family owns 3 families, and each family had two board members. Now we have a board of directors with 9 board members. 6 are named by the shareholders, and 3 were selected by unanimously independent directors. And I can tell you just the right choices that have been made, and just by the guidance of the consultant that DEG found. This consultant is Alfredo Ibarwen from Spain. A really good job. They helped me out, set up the board, helped me out setting up committees, a financial committee, an audit committee, and human resources and strategy committee. All of them are presided by the independent board members. And just the functioning of the company has changed because of what was done on the corporate governance level. We're much more agile on making decisions. The board is very focused on what has to be done. And as a CEO, it just liberated my time on being able to spend the time on the business and not on the politics and the family politics. So that's probably what we've done and what we've seen in the last 3 years. It took us a while. We already have the board is in this starting its 3rd year, and just the change it's palpable and you can see it. And probably the best way I can put it, you can see it in the results. We've been able to decrease our cost of production by 30% on that time. So that's what was done, and it's been great.
Thank you very much, Jorge. Thank you very much, Reinhold Feske.
This independent board members were selected from worldwide. So we have people from Europe. We have and 2 South Americans. So the 3 board members are from different countries, different nationalities. It was something that probably we could not have done ourselves alone.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jorge. Thank you very much, Reinhold Feske. I think we would have, topics for another hour or more to discuss, but unfortunately, our time is limited to 30 minutes. Thank you very much for participating, but in particular for emphasizing, very much this cooperation. I can only say from our side that we also appreciate very much the cooperation with yourselves, and this was the reason to invite particularly the 2 of you in order to participate in this seminar. And we sincerely hope for a fruitful cooperation in the future. Thank you very much for this, and have a nice day.
Pleasure.
Muchas gracias a todos por su participación y su tiempo, y a las personas que tengan preguntas o inquietudes los invito a visitar el stand de DEG para que les puedan informar cualquier cosa que necesiten saber. Hasta la próxima y muchas gracias por la participación.